I think we're live. I think we're live. Are we live? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Am I here? Is this making sense? Hit me up in the comments if we are indeed live. I think we're live. We look live. No backing. We've got one backer. That's one backer. One backer's better than no backers. Come on, everyone. Get on the thing. Get backing. Way, there we go. We're off. We're off to a start. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. James here from Cat Games. You should know that if you're here. Presumably, I'm guessing people are watching this. They're watching this. Maybe someone's watching this. Who knows? Whatever the case, we are here. I'm going to start clicking on some socials. Come on, backers. In you come. Okay, we're off. We're off. Whew. Okay. 6 backers. Fantastic. Well, yeah. No, nervous, but here we are. If you're here, let me know in the comments. Tell me where you are, what you're doing, and tell me if you're back in. Tell me which pledge level you're coming in at. We've got the access only pledge for £1, which lets you into the comments, the pledge manager, that sort of thing. We've got Scrapper, which is the core game, £40. We've got Operator, the £80 pledge level. That's a good one. You get a lot of stuff in there. Whole bunch of extra robots. We're 1/10 of the way there already. Fantastic. Oh, well, nearly. Looking at dollars. Don't look at dollars. Come on. Show me it in pounds, please. 11 backers. We are off. Can you hear me? That's the question. Can you hear me out in YouTube land? Happening now. Right, here we are. Let's throw a link into here. So if you have any questions about Steel Coliseum, let me know. If you want to know more about what we're doing, about this game generally, you want to know more about anything at all, throw them into the comments. I'm going to sit here and watch this number gradually tick up. 509, okay, 13 backers, good. I'm going to keep on posting some things. Right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. If you have backed us on Kickstarter, do let me know in the comments. Throw a comment into YouTube and tell me. I think it's flickering there a little bit. No, that's just me. My eyes. Maybe I'm a little bit sleep deprived. The important thing is we are up and running. Pop out the chat. Let's pop out the chat. Why not? I don't know the popped out chat. Let's put it back in. Throwing up news on all the socials. Should probably go and let the Robot Fight Club backers know that we're live as well. So yeah, were you here the first time around? Were you here for Robot Fight Club? That's the question. Were you one of our original backers? If so, thank you very much for sticking around and coming back for this one. Doug, thank you, Doug. Good to see you. Oh, okay. 18 backers. That's good. Good, strong start. Hey, we crossed $1,000, but it's still not showing it to me in pounds. £962. Okay, fine. Not quite at £1,000 yet, but we're almost 1/5 of the way there. That's really good for the first, 5 minutes? Not even that. So Steel Coliseum. I'm going to start talking about Steel Coliseum generally. Steel Coliseum, where did it come from? Steel Coliseum is a game that we first envisioned at Sushi Mania in Nottingham. Not because Sushi Mania is particularly robot related, but we were there having a nice night off, myself and Sophie, getting away from work. And of course, because we were getting away from work, we started thinking about things we could be doing with work. And we decided to make a game, put it on Kickstarter, because we were doing a lot of games for other people. And we thought, actually, it'd be really nice to do one for ourselves. Oh, wow, there we go. Jumped up a little bit. 1,153. That's good. So we decided that we'd do a game about fighting robots. I don't know why we decided fighting robots would be cool. We just did. Well, because fighting robots are cool, aren't they? And we thought, this could be a thing. And some of the ideas were kind of in there from right back at the very start. We thought it would be a card-based thing. Tag teams of robots came in really early, like teams of 2 robots. And the idea that you have to split your control between those 2. And that gradually morphed into a thing called Project Bash, which was our sort of code name for it for quite a while. That then got developed, and there was our first prototype box, which when we renamed it Robot Fight Club. Up here you can see some of the original standees we had. I'll bring these down. They're pretty fancy. I just grabbed a load of stuff off Google Images. That was our very first Sprinter, who later became Relay. There he is. Beagle, recognizable for any Doctor Who fans out there, who later became Sheba Zero. Scuttler, Insectoid now. Repulsor, Magnetron. Juggernaut, who's always been a big chunky bruiser. And Surplus, who became Barricade. That's probably the one that's changed the most design-wise. Didn't have the big gun shield at that point. So, so we started off with a load of random kind of ideas for robots. And then we developed that further and took it to Kickstarter in 2020 as Robot Fight Club. There's the box up there. Let me see. I've got the actual contents in here. It's actually it's a copy of Escape to Dark Castle, which I've defaced. But this was one of our copies we took around our demo tour in 2020. Anyone who came and saw it will recognize all these pieces in here. And our lovely standees. So there's Juggernaut. Barricade, who we renamed Sentinel. Yes, it was Surplus, Barricade, Sentinel. That's had the most name changes. Relay, who became Sprinter. Or Sprinter, who became Relay. It's Relay now, isn't it? Yeah. Insectoid, or Scuttler, as it was known. I loved this design for Beagle, as it was. Although the new one is just epic. And of course, finally, Magnetron, or Repulsor, as it was known, which was a little bit different, but still had the same sort of pose going on. So that was all that. And then we launched Kickstarter this time 2 years ago, 2020. And I don't know if anyone else was here or generally around in early 2020. Something happened that made things a little bit difficult to run a Kickstarter right at the very start of the year. About 5 days into our campaign, probably not even that, the UK went into lockdown. And we felt like we weren't comfortable, pushing our game when people didn't know if they were going to have a job, a toilet roll, any of that sort of stuff. Jobs and toilet roll, the 2 most important things. But basically we pulled it and we sat on it for a while. And then the lovely folks at Zatu came and spoke to us, I think in early 2021, might even have been 2020, I don't know. And they... I'll have to look it up, but they were very keen to publish a game with us, and so we dusted off Robot Fight Club as it was, reworked it, and here we are. I wish I had more stuff in the office. I've got like a few of the robots, which are just awesome looking 3D prints. These ones that they will be produced in PVC, I believe, for the Kickstarter. Well, for the game generally going forward. But I haven't got a review copy of the box because they all went off to reviewers and previewers and things. But it's been such an awesome time kind of watching the game develop, watching that journey happen. And now here we are today, having launched the Kickstarter. It's been a long time coming. Box Peoples, hello. Look at it go. Yeah, it is off to a solid start. So I'm very happy there. 1927 out of a £5,000 goal. Getting nearly halfway. Picking child. Who's my favourite robot? Oh, my favourite robot. Okay, so I'm going to go with the 6 that are in the core game. We've got 4 more in the cutting edge expansion. These are 4 experimental robots who are a little bit less reliable, but a little bit more over the top. I'll talk about them later. For now, the ones. Who's my favourite? Who do I think? Who's my favourite out of the 6 in the core game? I mean, Juggernaut is just the biggest, cuddliest robot. I mean, yeah, Juggernaut's hugs are pretty deadly, but I like Juggernaut. Magnetron's, prone to falling apart completely, and who can't relate to that? Probably one of those 2. Although Relay, I love when you get good with Relay, you can be an absolute pain in your opponent's side. You're running in, you're grabbing anything before they can get it. You're picking up scrap. You're hitting activation nodes and nexuses. You're causing a lot of havoc. So Relay is a really fun robot to play. I think overall it's got to be Magnetron. Magnetron is like the most sort of relatable. The one that's built on site in the arena. It's made of bits and pieces. I can't wait. Juggernaut is a Marmite robot, not literally a Marmite robot, but it's a robot. People love Juggernaut or hate Juggernaut. I've had some people who go, I can't stand Juggernaut, far too slow, you can't do anything, people run rings around you. Other people who say, I love Juggernaut, best robot ever, you can just destroy anything. And a lot of it comes down to the synergies of the items you get, the upgrades you get. So what I like a lot about Steel Coliseum, I like games where you kind of get to do like play, reset kind of stuff. So here we've got the bouts where you have your bouts and in between them you're tinkering with your robots, and then the market at the start where you've got a random selection of stuff where you can kind of piece together your ideal robot out of what's available. And a big part of the game is figuring out what those good combos are so that you can get them and prevent your opponent getting them vitally. That's really important. So yeah, that's what it's all about. So Juggernaut, if you get Juggernaut with like a jump and a zip quick CPU, that's what it's all about. But sensibly, you don't want to let your opponent get that. Now, in theory, he says, I'm going to try going live on TikTok as well, because that's the kind of cool happening cat that I am. I just see a question there. Expansion for new robots. Any teasers? Yeah, I'll tell you about the new robots. Absolutely. We're going to be doing some proper reviews of them. I can't type and talk at the same time because I only have one bit of brain. Let's turn that down. Let's put a microphone on that to make it sound better. Yeah, so there are 4 new robots in the expansion, 4 experimental robots they are. And there's my microphone. They the idea is they're kind of we've got the house robots. So we're in the Steel Coliseum on the scrap circuit. So the Steel Coliseum is the largest event on the scrap circuit. And in the Steel Coliseum, you turn up and you get to pick one of the house robots. You claim that house robot. If you're an operator who's managed to make it through today, you claim a house robot, you customize it, give it a cool paint job, barter for upgrades, put all those on, and you go and hopefully do well with that. As well as those 6 house robots, the cutting edge expansion introduces 4 new experimental robots, ones which are still maybe in testing. Maybe they're not necessarily completely fit for the main circuit, but they get brought out for special occasions. So the 4 robots we've got, let me just hit this button here and I will start talking 1 second. Don't show that again. Flip. Are we good? Yes, flip it so I'm not mirrored. There we go. That'll freak me out if I'm mirrored. Bear with me. I'll flip it that way. Oh, I see. Okay, I'll be mirrored. Fine, whatever. So, of course, I'm going live on there. If you're just joining us, this is the Steel Coliseum Kickstarter launch party where we're live. This is exciting. So, yeah, the 4 robots. We have got Rodeo. Rodeo is kind of part mechanical ball, part battering ram, part mining excavator. All the 4 experimental robots, a little bit of added complexity compared to the ones in the core game, because what we was kind of I hate the idea of designing a game chunks out to make expansions. That's not how I do things. So instead, we designed the game as a full game, and then we've made the expansion on top. And the expansions are generally things which add a bit more complexity, and maybe not for your first few games. They add some extra cool stuff for people that have played a few games. So each of the experimental robots has a bunch of one special rule which goes beyond what normal robots have. So Rodeo's rule is the first maneuver action it makes each turn. The first rotate it makes during a maneuver action costs 2 points rather than 1. So it's terrible at going around corners. It's good at straight lines, but it's got a weapon which it's got like a big spinny disc on its face, four-legged thing. You can see it on the Kickstarter page actually if you scroll down, and it charges forwards and hits things. And if it's moved in a straight line before it attacks, it does more damage and pushes things backwards. So Rodeo is like your battering ram robot. We've got Fragger, who is kind of from the same devious Wetworks laboratory that made Insectoid, and it just like sows chaos. It's like a big amphibious frog kind of thing that spits incendiary grenade things because why not have that? And so you can fire like timed explosives or things that deny areas of the board with that. We've got hang on, wait. Oh yeah, Stockpile. Stockpile is like a scrapper robot made by the scrapper communities around the Coliseum, which is kind of designed to strip mechanical things to pieces, pull them apart, rebuild them. And the cool thing with that is you can basically stockpile a load of scrap on your back. You have a big, very heavily armored back. And when you pick scrap up, you can put it onto the robot's rear armor rather than putting it into your stash. And it's got actions that let it kind of transfer it from there onto your teammate robot. So it like defends. I love the idea of it kind of running in, turning around to use the big armored back to protect the robot and then kind of repairing it a bit. We went through loads of kind of design ideas. Originally, I envisioned it as almost like a cross between a turtle and the bag lady from the Labyrinth. But we had a load of kind of different ideas coming in, which was really cool. So that's that one. And the other one is, wait for it, the last one is Fat Cat. How can I forget Fat Cat? Fat Cat's fantastic. Fat Cat is our little tribute to the needy cat himself, Hilo, who is our large rotund cat. He's like Garfield without the lasagna. And Fat Cat is kind of a former kids theme park mascot. just a big round cat. It's just like a wrecking ball in the arena, basically, bouncing around the place, smashes things, all of that. It was a fan favorite in the Robot Fight Club Kickstarter, so we had to bring it back. I wonder, can I in fact show off? No, I can't, can I? There's no way of me sharing things on here. That's a shame. Well, never mind. I'll have to there'll be updates. There's plenty of time for that sort of stuff later. Hello TikTok as well. Hello TikTok. I'm currently chattering away on YouTube as well as TikTok. Multiple cameras all going off at once. If you're just joining us, we are here for the Steel Coliseum Kickstarter launch. We are halfway to funded already. This is amazing. Halfway to funded within 20 minutes, which is incredible. So if you want to see that funding number go up, you want to help us get to the point at which we're funded, and we can start looking at stretch goals, give us a hand, share that link around the Steel Coliseum. Look up Steel Coliseum Kickstarter, and give it a share. Let's see what's happening. Let's see if we can get it to go bigly big. Sorry, I've not had much sleep the last couple of days. Can you tell? I'm just talking now. I'm babbling. So most importantly of all, amongst all this robot-related hijinks and madness, I promised people that when I did this live stream, I would find out the best pop culture fighting robot. And I had a fantastic series of suggestions to the best one, and I need to go through that. Oh, hang on, sorry, I've got a comment I've just ignored completely. Liam, hello, Liam, you're right. I know you probably want to keep things hush hush, but with a cat bot from RFC, there we go. I've already answered that. Perfect. Good. So we got a bunch of suggestions for pop culture fighting robots, and my rules were they had to be no bigger than 2 Craig Charleses, on top of each other, because there's a Robot Wars thing there, right? Everyone knows, Craig Charles is a good reference point. Also good sci-fi, heritage there. We've got Craig Charles, that no smaller than a coffee table, so not only any kind of weeny little nanobots and things. So a robot that could fit into the Steel Coliseum arena. And it's got to be ready and willing to fight. No kind of enslaved robots. None of that sort of nonsense. I want like robots that want to fight, or that are remote controlled people who might want to fight. So the robots that people suggested could be good candidates for the best pop culture fighting robot of all time were no, I do not want to do a go live together. Thank you very much. So the ones we had were, in no particular order, this is randomized. I've got a randomized tournament bracket thing going on. Let's go through them one at a time, okay? So our first pairing, Crichton from Red Dwarf and Judge Harvey from Judge Dredd. Now, Judge Harvey, very capable fighter, very empathetic, really, really cared about things, and was, maybe a little bit too on the ball for Mega City 1. I feel that out of these two, and obviously, to be clear, I'm going to be using a very scientific technique here by picking a winner from each one until we get to an eventual winner. Some would say this is not scientific. I would say to them, go run your own Kickstarter. But yeah, Crichton and Judge Harvey. So Crichton, service mechanoid, various attachments I won't go into on a family-friendly stream. Definitely, capable, but not really a fighter. Judge Harvey, though, even with the empathy and the feelings and the feeling bad and not necessarily being a brutal judge as needs to be, definitely going to win in that fight. So I think round one, definitely without a doubt, goes to Judge Harvey. I have to report the scores now on my little bit of tournament software that I've got together to verify the winner. Here we go. To verify the winner is Judge Harvey. I'm submitting the scores. I feel like this piece of software is far more official than I really needed it to be, but here we are. 2x4b 523p is a lover, not a fighter. That's such a dorky middle name. I think you actually got it slightly wrong because I'm that kind of nerd. But I wish I hadn't said that. Anyway, next one is Johnny 5. So Johnny 5 specifically, because I won't lie, I've put the same robot in here twice. Okay, I've got Johnny 5, who is Short Circuit 2. The character renamed himself Johnny 5 in the Short Circuit 1, and he got rid of his laser. He got a utility pack, what sort of thing instead. He's in here, and number 5 from the first film's in here as well, because it's one of my favorite films growing up. So I'm putting it in twice, okay? But here we've got Johnny 5 from Short Circuit 2 versus Bob and Dave, the Scutters from Red Dwarf. Good second showing for Red Dwarf here. I don't know how to call this one. If anyone's got any ideas, who would win in a fight between Johnny 5 from Short Circuit 2 and the two Scutters from Red Dwarf? Let me know. I mean, I think, if nothing else, one of them was programmed to kill things, even though he's kind of gone a bit pacifist in the sequel. He does still, maybe if they caught him in that kind of the end bit of Short Circuit 2 where he went a bit punk and did the whole kind of robot makeover thing. That was quite a fun moment. And Bonnie Tyler's Holding Out for a Hero came on. I recently saw a thing saying, if you hear the song Holding Out for a Hero, you can tell like what generation you are by which film you think of. And for me, it's that one. Bob and Dave, which is the cap guns. This is very true. This is very, very true. And yeah, I mean, just for like pure adorable points, I'm tempted to give it to them. Yeah, here we go. I'm doing it. They're winning, Bob and Dave. And to be fair, they've got the numbers advantage. Maybe it's unfair to put them in as one thing when there are two of them. When I've also put a different robot in twice. I mean, what is this? I'm just doing this completely out of nowhere. The next one is I think probably no challenge. Sir Kill-A-Lot from Robot Wars versus the T800 from Terminator, the Arnie bot, the Cyberdyne Systems model T101. I'm not even going to discuss this because I'm going to say Sir Kill-A-Lot was rubbish. Even in Robot Wars, even in the context of remote control robots in the real world, Sir Kill-A-Lot was lame. And if anyone would like to kind of back up, stand up for Sir Kill-A-Lot and tell me why I'm wrong, please do. But I don't think so. I think Sir Kill-A-Lot, no, I've got to do Sir Kill-A-Lot of that. He's awesome. He's not. Sir Kill-A-Lot could do two things. He could go forwards and backwards, and he could do this. I'll reenact what he can do. There we go. That's Sir Kill-a-Lot in a nutshell. Sir Kill-a-Lot was rubbish. It was spectacle and size over utility. Silly robot. And also, the only thing it had going for it was how big it was, right? And it's not the size of the robot that counts. Anyway, I think in this case, it is the T800, without a doubt. I'm calling it here. Sir Kill-a-Lot is just going to get obliterated. And, we'll see the shot of its head being stepped on by a T800 in the intro to the film. T800, there we go. Right. So next one I had, this is tricky. R2-D2 at number 5, as in Johnny 5, but from the first Short Circuit film, because for some reason I decided that was a thing that I had to, distinguish between. Matilda. If anyone had said Matilda, I would have gladly said, you know what? Actually, Matilda's got a chance there, but not Kill-a-Lot. John, hello. Good to see you here. Sean, to be fair, any of the Robot Wars robots, even Nemesis, I think I would rate above Sir Kill-a-Lot. Throwing some heavy Sir Kill-a-Lot shade here. We are on £3,156. That's like 2/3 of the way to go. That's amazing. Keep on sharing that Kickstarter. So R2-D2 versus number 5. Now, this is a tricky one because, well, obviously, I mean, one of them is alive, and I feel that R2-D2 would stop short of actually killing a living creature. I think. I don't know though. I'm trying to think now. Would R2-D2 commit cold-blooded murder? There's a question we need to ask ourselves. Anyone got any thoughts on that? If it was like, oh my goodness, what was the robot in the Darth Vader comics? Dr. Aphra's astromech droid. Was it BT-0? I think possibly. Well, whatever. That one would gladly do that. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. But R2, I think in this case, I think through BT1, there we go, that was it. Massive kill count Star Wars, yeah. R2 and Chopper's coming up later, so we will see what happens. I think in this case, number 5, probably through, an accidental, whimsical way, is definitely going to, do the dirty and kill R2. I'm afraid it's what's happening, and number 5 is getting it. So R2 is savage. It's true. But also the image of R2 getting shot with a laser and then making the R2 scream is just too tempting. I've just looked at the second round brackets we've already got up here, and this is going to be very silly. Speaking of silly, the next one is a Dalek. Arguably, I mean, they're not really a robot. They're more of a cyborg than a Dalek, than a robot, aren't they? They're cybernetic. They got a human-y bit inside. I should have disqualified this earlier on. Versus Brett and Jermaine from Flight of the Conchords in the song Robots. The song called Robots? Was it called Robots? Was it The Humans Are Dead? I can never remember. Kill count for R2 is 1,251,000. Rob, never tell me the odds. Don't come in here with your facts and your figures. So who wins out of a Dalek and Flight of the Conchords in robot suits? So the problem is, now, as much as I can see Battleline Minis there coming in, Brett and Jane 100%, if they were facing humans, because they're very good, they can use their poisonous gases, right? But the year 2000, distant future, the year 2000. But even their binary solo, I think, is not going to work against a single solitary Dalek. So I think, unfortunately, the lads are out. The Dalek wins. This is possibly one of the silliest things I've done on a live stream in front of people. It's not. That's a lie. It's complete. I've done way worse than this. Next one, bit darker. Atom from Real Steel versus Call Me Kenneth from Judge Dredd, or 2000 AD. Was it Judge Dredd or was it 2000 AD generally? I can't remember. Either way. Call Me Kenneth. Bit of a fascist. I'm going to say it. Bit of a fascist. So I'm calling immediate disqualification for basically being Robo Hitler. So Atom can win that one. Thank you very much. And also Atom was controlled by an adorable child, which we all know is going to happen. That's going to be a win, right? Poor man's Daft Punk robots. Yes, that is so true. I'd never made that connection, but the Flight of the Conchords robots are basically the Aldi middle aisle version of Daft Punk. No, to be fair, let's be fair to Aldi middle aisle. You know, we love the middle aisle in Aldi, don't we? So yeah, Atom wins there. 2 rounds left in the first bracket. Difficult one. This Death's Head from 2000 AD, robotic bounty hunter from the future, versus Ed 209 from RoboCop. Oh, that's tricky. Okay, first person to give me an answer, I'm going with that because I think that could go either way. Ed 209, of course. I mean, if it takes place on a set of stairs, Ed 209's in trouble, or on a slight incline. If there are any marbles on the floor, any number of things can cause Ed 209 to have a bad day. Death's Head. I mainly remember Death's Head from when I was a kid from the Transformers comics in the UK. Death's Head was kind of a character in that. And I believe from some random rabbit hole I went down years ago, there was some kind of disparity, like the character split and there were different versions in different things. But yeah, I think no one's going to give me an answer. I'm going to say Death's Head is definitely the better of the two because Ed 209 was a silly thing. Yeah, it's just going to fall down a flight of stairs and die. Yeah, terrain would definitely make a huge difference. It's true. I mean, that used to be the thing with Daleks. If it had been the case that we had Daleks as they were, then Brett Bot and Jermaine Bot would have to just go upstairs and they'd be all right. But as we all know, Daleks now can fly, apparently, which feels like cheating. And finally, we've got Ultron from Marvel. And specifically MCU Ultron, I think, here. Because you've got to pick your Ultrons, right? Versus Chopper from Clone Wars. That's a tough one, isn't it? Because I really want it to be Chopper. I really want the plucky little droid to get it. But, surely Ed 209 wouldn't fit the year. So I checked. The rules were very specific on the robots in this competition cannot be any bigger than 2 Craig Charleses on top of each other. I looked up the measurements, and there's about that much in it, but it does fit. I've got a graphic which I shared on the Needy Cat Games Twitter, which you can find if you have a little dig, where I did in fact stack a pair of Craig Charleses and an Ed 209 at actual scale, and it's about 3.5 meters, I believe. But yeah, I mean, here we go. So Chopper or Ultron? I mean, Chopper, yes. Chopper, I love Chopper to bits, but it's Ultron, I mean, also, there's the technically cheating thing going on where Ultron can kind of get destroyed and then just reemerge as a different robot. Oh, I don't know. We got someone on YouTube. We got 1 vote for Chopper on YouTube, 1 vote on TikTok for Ultron. It's like picking favorites, isn't it? She invented with Shriek from Mortal Engines. I've not seen Mortal Engines, but if it's got a fighting robot in it, I clearly have to. So I need to do that. I'm going to risk everyone's eye. I'm going to give this to Ultron because I think, Ultron's going to get this. I've got some kind of anti-astromech droid thing going on today. R2's not made it through. Chopper hasn't made it through. BT1 didn't even get a mention. Yeah, if Ultron only has 1 body, he's actually quite weak. But then, it's an astromech droid, right? What are you going to do? Fly an X-wing at them, I suppose. Well, too late now. Done that. So round 1 is over. Round 2, we're getting to the end of this. We're going to have a pause. We're going to have a little drink of water. We're on £3,299 out of our £5,000 goal, and that makes me so happy. 57 happy backers, which is awesome. The Zatu folks, I imagine, are doing lots of stuff behind the scenes at their end, making sure everything's looking cool and funky. Have a little chat about the contents of the Kickstarter because that's what I'm here for, right? So if you haven't seen it, we've got the Steel Coliseum core game, which is for 1 to 4 players. You've got 2 modes of play. You've got contest mode, which sees 2 teams of 2 robots fighting in the arena, and you've then got gauntlet mode, which is 1 team of 2 robots fighting a whole bunch of AI controlled drones, which have been designed and developed by Ricky Royal, who runs a YouTube channel called Box of Delights, which is awesome. Ricky's an amazing solo developer, designer. He's stepped in and done an amazing job with those. And you can actually introduce those drones into your contest games as well if you want to kind of have the Robot Wars House Robots kind of thing going on. So, in the core game, you've got your 6 robots. You've got 4 operators, who are the characters who control the robots. And I love the operators are so cool. They've got so much personality, so much kind of pizzazz. They are. It's just nice. You got like, basically from a rules point of view, they give you a special rule, but also they give you a whole personality. And we lean into that in the Signature Moves expansion, which is a one deck of cards expansion with a bunch of cards. You get 2 new operators for a start, and then a load of cards which are for specific combos of operator and robot. So, you know, when Raoul fights with Relay, you get this particular card for that. It's a one-shot, awesome, crowd-pleasing move you can do. So that's in there. You've got a few things like operator-specific upgrades as well. The other expansion we've got is the Cutting Edge expansion, which I talked about a little bit earlier. If you missed it, I'm sure you can wind back later and watch this. This should be up on our website or on the YouTube channel, sorry, after this. But yeah, basically that is an expansion with 4 new robots, a bunch of new technology, all that sort of stuff. And I mean, we've got plans for stretch goals. Depending on how this goes, we might end up doing more stuff. Who knows? I'd quite like to. So yeah, let's see where we go with that. If you've got any questions about Steel Coliseum, about the Kickstarter, about gameplay, about anything at all, the miniatures, let me know. Throw a comment in and I'll do it. But for now, let's get back to the most important thing, of course, of the day, which is which fictional robot would win in a fight, because that's what I'm doing. So our first one is our winner of round 1, Judge Harvey from Judge Dredd. To be clear, not Judge Steve Harvey, aka Steve Harvey from Family Fortunes, who had or has a TV show called Judge Harvey. I discovered this while looking up Judge Harvey. Not that one. This is Judge Harvey from 2000 AD against Bob and Dave, the Scutters from Red Dwarf. I mean, I feel like they kind of cheated to get through, right? They shouldn't have got through the first round because there were 2 of them, and that doesn't seem fair to me. So I think in this case, Harvey's going to do him dirty. Also, I mean, we know pretty well that the Scutters from Red Dwarf, they were morally grey at best, right? So Judge Harvey's kind of ultra-legal empathy circuits probably aren't going to have much of an impact there. So let's give that to the judge. I think the judge wins that one. Here we go, Judge Harvey, lovely. Next one we've got up. Rainbow Routes, Becky, hello. Our Kickstarter's gone live. It's exciting. We're on £3,299 out of £5,000. We might get a day 1 fund. That'd be awesome. So yeah, our next bracket in which of these robots will win in a fight is the T-800, the Models 101 Cyberdyne Arnie bot from Terminator versus number 5 from Short Circuit. I mean, it's getting difficult now. Who would win out of these? It could go one of 2 ways. It could be that number 5 lures the T-800 into a trap, reprograms it, has it doing like, you know, old-timey comedy routines for its own amusement, or the T-800 walks through a hail of laser fire and then pulls number 5 to bits. It's that one, isn't it? It's definitely that one, because, you know, number 5's got a laser. That's nothing. And the T-800's got, it, you know, eats lasers for breakfast. So I think it's got to be the T-800, I'm afraid. That's just, it's sad. But number 5 has fallen at the second fence. In our third bracket, we've got Atom from Real Steel versus a Dalek. And again, I'm not sure the Dalek should be allowed in this competition, because is a Dalek a robot? I need this. I need to know, is a Dalek a robot? If you've got opinions, let me know in the comments, because I feel like a Dalek is more of a robotic suit around a fleshy inner bit, which apparently my mum, when she was little, she used to tell me, back before Doctor Who came back on the TV, whenever we saw a Dalek, she would tell us that when she was little on the black and white TV, she saw an episode where a Dalek got opened up and it looked like the inside of her fish finger. Now, I don't know if that's just my mum not eating great fish fingers, but whatever the case, that's what a Dalek looks like. No, it's a fighting unit. I think, yeah. I feel that just before this bout starts, we're going to get a judge's decision, which is actually going to remove the Dalek from the rank. The Dalek's getting disqualified, which means, entertainingly, we're having a a redo on round one. The Dalek is disqualified, which brings Robo Brett and Robot Jermaine from Flight of the Conchords in that music video through to the second round. And then they're up against Atom from Real Steel. And sorry, guys, you were there very briefly. But I think they're just going to get punched into bits, aren't they? That's just... I shouldn't laugh. It's going to be quite horribly messy. And again... wait, though, because they did have poisonous gases that kill humans, and Atom is controlled by a fleshy 12-year-old human. So help me out, people. What happens here? Does the poisonous gas render Atom useless, or do our two tinfoil troubadours get pounded into paste? I feel like I wasted an opportunity to be a sports commentator. Marvin the Paranoid Android was indeed left out, but Marvin didn't. There's loads of great choices. Marvin would have been interesting to have in here, especially if it was like, which Marvin are we talking? Like, are we talking TV series Marvin, movie Marvin, audio Marvin, book Marvin? Gas definitely kills the kid. There we go, Rob. Okay, you said it. Unfortunately, sad but true. Brett and Jermaine are through. A surprise victory for people that weren't even in the second round. There we go. The guys from Flight of the Conchords killed a child with their gas. This is going dark. Speaking of round 4, we've got Death's Head from Marvel against Ultron from Marvel. It's a bit of a Marvel off. Although, hang on, wait a second. Was Death's Head Marvel? No. Death's Head was 2000 AD, but then appeared in the various comics. Was in Dark Horse comics for a bit, I think. I don't know. Whatever the case, various comics. Atom is self-aware, so he can control himself. He does nod when the kid asks, "Can you hear me?" Well, that's upsetting. Why? He should have intervened before now. That's... Yeah. Maybe Atom can have a surprise comeback later. Death's Head versus Ultron. I think that Death's Head is... Ultron's big advantage, right? Ultron is a high-tech robot suit gone, with a rogue AI inside it. But it's very much using modern-day technology, right? Death's Head is a robotic bounty hunter from the future whose whole job is killing rogue robots. So I'm thinking this is going to go to the tusked bounty hunter person. What do we think? Any opinions on Death's Head versus Ultron? I think it's Death's Head, personally. I'm here. I'm seeing no dissent, so I'm doing it. Here we go. And if you had an opinion, you should have typed quicker. I'm having fun. I'm having a good time. 3,490. We're so close. Oh my goodness. We might actually fund. We might fund today. That would be such a gratifying thing to happen after all the work we've put into this. It would be amazing. Ultron will make a mistake using his molecular rearranger, exposing himself. Blimey. I didn't know it was that kind of film. Right, so we're into the semi-finals now. Semi-finals, we've got two impressive-looking matchups. First one here, Judge Harvey, again, not Judge Steve Harvey. Judge Harvey from 2000 AD versus the T-800. I feel like that's kind of a foregone conclusion, right? But before I talk about it, let's just go and have a quick look at the Kickstarter again. Does anyone have any questions about what's happening on Kickstarter, what we're doing? 50 backers, yay! That's a nice round number. We should celebrate round numbers. Round numbers are important. Let's have a look. So just looking at the comments. Game's looking fantastic. Yes, it is. I agree. Looks fantastic. Yeah, the solo option. Yeah, solo play was a thing that a lot of people were asking for among the testers and the various people we spoke to. I think people are wanting to see solo modes in games now, especially with with the last couple of years, lockdown and everything. I feel like solo play is increasingly important. We were really keen, though, not to fudge it. We wanted to make sure we had a solo mode which felt distinct from the competitive mode, because you're never going to quite capture the experience of playing against a human player. So I feel like trying to risks going down a dangerous road with a game like this. So Ricky came in and did an amazing job of making this a really cool bespoke solo mode. Becky, they're saying, just for the record, Johnny 5 would definitely resurrect, so she'll be back in. Well, there would be a last minute like crawl to a workshop to find a battery, wouldn't there, and get himself back in. I feel like that could happen. Who knows? There could be a surprise, Undertaker in with a steel chair from the crowd kind of situation in the final. Who knows? But Judge Harvey, T800, I think, Judge Harvey, you're just too nice. Arnie's going to mess you up, mate. I think that's it. Which means our other semi-final is Robo Brett and Robo Jermaine, who have no place, honestly, having got this far into the competition. There is no way they should still be in this this contest. They're up against Death's Head, Intergalactic, Robo Bounty Hunter. Let's dispense the preamble. I think they are going. He's not human. There's no human component. Their poisonous gases will not help them. He's not a robo-fascist, so he's not being disqualified like Call Me Kenneth was. So Death's Head is going through. Which means our final is in the knockout battle of the pop culture robots is the T800, the Arnie-inspired Cyberdyne Systems model T101 against Death's Head, Intergalactic Bounty Hunter, the details of whom I thought I knew better than I did, but they're kind of all muddled up in my head, and it's been a long time. This is where Johnny 5 takes him out during warm-up. The whole thing was a ruse. He's been watching old war movies and takes him out like Rambo or something. This is going to have to go to a vote. So let me know in the comments. Is this a win for the T800? Is it a win for Death's Head? Is it a surprise short circuit happy ending for Johnny 5? Let me know, and let's see what you all think. Cylons excluded because they're androids. No one suggested them. They probably shouldn't have potential spoilers for a 20-year-old show. It's 20 years, isn't it? Oh my goodness. Basically I put a thing up on Twitter and Facebook asking for people to give me ideas of robots, and Cylons didn't get mentioned. So what can I say? When does Johnny 5 become gold? He became gold at the end of Short Circuit 2 when he became a citizen of America, the first robotic citizen in the country's history, I believe. And then he painted himself gold, which I think was a little bit garish, but hey, each their own. We never saw Short Circuit 3, so whether he kept the gold, I don't know if it was just a one-off bit of gold leaf. Who knows? Right. The bot from Nintendo, was it Rob? R-O-B? The Nintendo Entertainment System robot. That was a weird gimmick, wasn't it? That was a weird gimmick. Sneaks in and takes them both out. Too small. It's too small. The rule was they can't be smaller than a coffee table. And even a particularly small coffee table is going to be bigger than that little roboty thing. Because it had to sit on a coffee table, right? My encyclopedic knowledge of Short Circuit is inspiring and terrifying. When I was a kid, there were 3 films that I watched endlessly on loop. They were Short Circuit, Ghostbusters, and Gremlins. And I feel like that's kind of informed who I've ended up being. The first board game I designed was actually a Gremlins board game. I was about 5. It was terrible. It needed way more testing. The graphic design was appalling. And it was a roll and move. It was very much of its time. I wasn't really thinking ahead much. But Gremlins meant a lot. Not Tron and Back to the Future. Back to the Future came in later. Yep, Back to the Future came in a few years later, and I was big into that. Tron, I didn't see until about 15, 20 years ago when I met Sophie. You went to the house from Short Circuit last summer. No way! Was it still covered in animals? I doubt it, but that's amazing. Where is that? I'll have to make a pilgrimage one day. Tried introducing our daughter to Short Circuit recently, and then realised it's quite a grown-up film, really. She wasn't a fan. So I think the votes we've got, the only vote I've got in here is the T800. So Donald Kelly, you've done it. So our winner, and it's not surprising, is it really? Our winner for the pop culture Robo Throwdown is the T800. There we go. But the question is, how would the T800 fare in the arena against Juggernaut? because Juggernaut is the Juggernaut. It's a big, chunky hunk of metal. It gives good hugs. I do occasionally refer to Juggernaut as Huggernaut, and that's okay. I can do that. It's allowed. Whatever the case, that's that. I think it's coming up to 5 o'clock now. It is 5 o'clock. I've been doing this for just almost an hour-ish, sort of, if you ignore the bit where we were a bit late at the start. We're on £3,500 just about out of 3,491. Yeah. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, Short Circuit, Mario. Yeah. We didn't even get as far as Fisher Stevens in Short Circuit before we turned it off, actually. And that is a legendarily badly aged piece of casting. My goodness. But and he was in number 1 as well, to be fair. They changed the character's name. And again, I know far too much about Short Circuit. But Kickstarter, so we are on 51 backers. 51 backers. We're on £3,491, which is exciting. We've got 21 days to go. We've been going for just over 1 hour. Them's some good numbers. I'm quite happy with that. So if you've backed us, thank you ever so much. If you haven't backed us yet, I would love this to reach a few stretch goals. We've got some really cool ideas for upgrades and expansions, and if it goes well, we can make those. If not, we'll have to think of some other ways we can get those out in future. But what I'd really love is for this to be a big success. Zatu to say, like, hey, the game we made with you went really, really well. Let's go bigger. Let's do something again. Let's do cooler things. Can I add the Kickstarter link to the description of the video? Yes, I probably can, can't I? Let's do that. That's a good shout. Excuse me. So let me put that in there. Yeah, I'm going to go because it's time for me to go and look at other things. This has been fantastic. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the comments. See you later. End.